Hello everyone, this is Tulip and greetings from RNTC Narrative Journalism Course Assignment Project. Today I will introduce you with one of inspiring young woman journalists called Rana. She's working at Daily News Egypt. So let's get into her how she became a journalist. Hi Rana.
Hi, Tulip.
Can you tell me how do you get interesting to become a journalist?
I was always interested to become a journalist. When I was in the secondary school, I started reading some international articles for published in Washington Post and the Guardian and many different international newspapers, and was fascinated by the fact of seeking truth or revealing some corruption issues. This was really interesting for me actually because I wanted to be part of this cycle. I wanted to join those interesting people, those amazing people who love to investigate in things and get out some maybe dangerous or critical information about others.
How long have you been working as a journalist?
I've been working as a journalist for 4 years now.
Could you please tell me your first story article that you report?
Oh, that was a long time ago, actually. It was a story about swine flu, and it was for the Egyptian Gazette newspaper. And it was very interesting for me to find my name and my article in a printed issue of the newspaper. I was so fascinated because this was my first experience, and I was so happy and excited.
When you get your first story and interview, what kind of difficulty and challenges did you face?
I usually face a lot of difficulties, especially during the days of the revolution. We were asked to. I was working in Egypt Independent newspaper at that time, and our location was too close to Al Tahrir Square, where the protests have occurred, and a lot of people have been asking us to go outside and just report on what is happening, and that was a tragedy because it was very hard for me for at the beginning of my life, of my career as a journalist, to go for the strikes and the protests and start to talk to people who are running from the police and who are and finding some people who was shot around me. I was very scared, but actually that was one of the biggest challenges I ever experienced.
How about your experience as being a women journalist? In Egypt, majority are men. So what kind of difficulty do you have?
I usually face a lot of difficulties in something like this because being a female journalist in Egypt means a lot of things. It means that, first of all, you have to face any harassment in the streets. Actually, covering protests and strikes may be complicated for me too as a female journalist because the traditional customs in our country is that being a female journalist who cover protests means that you're not a very good person actually, because you destroyed the traditional stereotype of the cute polite girl who stays in her parents' homes.
But in your interview, you said in Egypt, women journalists have been harassed. Have you ever been danger?
Danger, yes, many times, and especially, as I told you, in the days of the revolution. But the kind of danger was during the days of the first 18 days of the revolution. Everything was complicated. People used to... a lot of people have been killed, and reporting on this and reporting inside the Al Tahrir Square where everything is happening was really complicated for me because that was real danger, because it was dangerous to face people and to face the police and try to take some photos or try to interview someone inside the everything, or to take to take sides or maybe taking telling the truth about what's happening. So this is kind of danger I meant.
So in the future, what do you want to change for a women journalist?
I want them to, and that is what I'm doing with my students. I usually want them to be stronger, to be more goal oriented, to try to challenge the traditions and the customs of our society in this part in particular, to show to the society how female journalists are empowered, how they have potential, how they are intelligent, how they can overcome all the different situations. So I think this is what I want to make. That is why what I want to change.
Rana, would you please tell me what is the most important things in the last 6 months?
Actually, the most important thing that happened to me in the last 6 months was finishing my master's degree, because it was a unique thesis that discussed something for the first time, which was information sources of the foreign residents in Egypt. And actually, I received an offer yesterday to turn the dissertation into a book. And actually, I published a research paper out of it. So it was one of the most interesting things for me, actually.
So what is your next steps?
My next step is starting working on my PhD degree, actually, and I'm trying right now to find an interesting topic to investigate. And because I don't like very much working on the popular topics that anyone can get information easily about. So I think this is what I'm going to do.
So do you have any message for young people who will get inspired from your story?
Yeah, of course. I think many people actually believe that having postgraduate studies is just a luxury or something that is not necessary. But actually, this, I believe it's something important, because you have to combine both the academic and practical fields, and you have to know about them, because the workplace and the market became so competitive, and you have to be just different and unique.